What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you haven't been here before. Today I am going to be throwing a little bit of work towards my Tacoma. This thing has been kind of neglected since I picked up that Evo that I've been making all this content on. Completely ignoring that car because I am done with it for the time being, just because it is a constant revolution of things going on with it. This Tacoma needs some work, and all of it is pretty much my fault, which I'll kind of get into. But today I am going to be cleaning up a lot of interior parts because this thing is getting a full conversion, and it is going to be getting just a little bit of an overhaul on a lot of these leaks that are under here. I took this thing in for an alignment yesterday. Good news on the alignment is this thing has never driven better. It's the best driving Tacoma I've ever had. Just the alignment, all the suspension, everything is finally dialed in right. Honestly, sliding into that curb a couple weeks ago, like a week ago, probably the best thing that could happen to this truck because now everything's perfect. I'm really happy with it and the way it drives. However, I apparently I have a power steering leak. Don't know how that happened. And just taking it in yesterday to get it realigned, everything seems perfect. And they pointed out I have 3 leaks, one of which being my oil sending unit. Should be easy enough to fix. I'll have to actually look at it and see what's going on with it and what's really leaking. Next thing is the power steering lines, and the one other place, which is big unfortunate. My rear main seal is leaking, so I'm gonna have to drop the T case, drop the transmission, pull clutch, flywheel, pressure plate, all that. Swap out that rear main seal again. This is actually going to be my 3rd time doing it on here. My first time I murdered the seal on accident. Second time, apparently I didn't get it on there right, or it was just a bad seal, I don't know, but I had to pay $50 for that from the parts store because I damaged the first one. And now this is gonna be the 3rd time I'm gonna order it online because I don't wanna pay for the extra bit to buy it local and just get it done today because I don't really feel like pulling a transmission today. So this interior was originally brown. This is a 1998 first gen Tacoma. I've done a full conversion on here to a 2001 to 2004 interior. Obviously missing a couple parts here and there. But overall, this thing is fully converted. Down to the headliner, I'm missing my sunshades, it's kind of annoying. Direct seats, they're very okay. I plan on swapping them out. Center console, shift boot, brand new OEM shift boot, like literally came in the Toyota bag and everything. Panels here, these are original to the truck because, fun fact, apparently the switches for the older trucks are a different electronic system versus the new ones. Switches are not compatible between the two. This one is. This is the new Tacoma switch panel. That one worked fine. The driver's side one did not. I could not get it to work. I couldn't find pinouts for it. I thought it was just gonna be switching 2 wires. I tried that, still didn't work, so went ahead and just modified the cover to work with those switches off the 98, and that worked for me, but just not great. Back on the interior, we have the rear door panels, the rear windows there. These are actually off of 2004 as well because these are different between the 2 generations, which I will get into in a little bit as well. And pretty decent interior cushions in the back here. And a nice spilled drink. I'm guessing that was Megan that did that. So Megan, if you're watching, I know you spilled that, and that was why the handle was sticky that one day, and you said, I don't know, I've never spilled anything. Okay. Plan for today is I actually got a mostly, I'm not gonna call it a full interior, I got a partial interior for the blue-gray Tacomas of this year span because the rear panels mainly, and some other bits on the 2004, along with the switches like I was just talking about, do not work on the 98, and they don't work at all. One of which being this. That is with a lot of modification to even get this to work somewhat. If you shut the doors too hard, these just pop open. So it's not a good system. Not only that, but if you're back here, I'll show you how bad the panels are. So if you look here, you can actually see a pretty sizable gap here. And none of this actually pops on properly because the clips are different. And you can't put this guy on because this is different on the newer ones versus the old ones. This part is okay, but this is actually not secured properly. This has a big bit of space behind it. So that's not right. I think it's still clipped on down there, which I didn't even know. This, as you're driving, you'll hear this a lot. So that gets pretty old pretty fast. Okay, so here's why I think it is very important to know, at least have some automotive knowledge as far as what's going on. I don't have the paper here with me, but if I can find it, I'll throw in a clip right here. So this is the list that Brakes Plus gave me on what's leaking on my truck. Very first up is going to be a power steering leak that was over the phone quoted to me as rack and pinion, which is why I was kind of thinking like, okay, maybe I dinged the lines, bent them, did something stupid while putting in the bushings, so it would make sense. The next thing is a rear main seal, and that is unfortunate. The last thing is the oil sending unit, which was very confusing to me because this truck doesn't necessarily have an oil sending unit, it has an oil sensor, but that's it. And there's nothing like oil sending unit. I'm thinking of like Subarus with their like AVCS lines. Maybe like the Evo has like the oil sending line to the turbo that's like the turbo feed. But like oil sending unit, like it doesn't, I don't have anything that like clicks in my mind that would be. Because typically your oil pump is what's sending the oil to wherever it's going, unless you can physically see something that's taking oil from point A to point B. I don't have that on here. So I went ahead and I looked around at all of the places I could think of. So all the oiling stuff that would be leaking is on the right side of the engine on here, facing the front of it. Rack and pinion obviously behind it, rear main obviously behind it. But this is what I thought was interesting. So if you take a look up in there, there's nothing leaking. Like maybe a small leak right there on the dipstick tube. But even that's so minor, I wouldn't even worry about that. I wouldn't even really notice it. There's nothing leaking here. This may have leaked at some point in the past before I bought it, but it's definitely not leaking now. There's no leaks going on at the valve cover, as hard as it is to see up there. So that doesn't make sense. The rear main is absolutely leaking. Try and get this thing to clean up a little bit. There we go. So yeah, I mean, you can see all that oil dripping off. That makes sense. That's 100%. That's on me. I gotta fix that. But like my rack and pinion, nothing here is leaking. Everything that could be perceived as a leak is all from my transmission area there for my rear main. There's nothing over here that's leaking. So that's kind of interesting. That power steering feed line is 100% leaking though, and that is not rack and pinion, that is just off my pump. So yeah, I'm not one to call shops liars based off, you know, just some whatever conversation, and especially not one that I like to go to a lot. However, I'm gonna say, looking at this, they're definitely trying to charge more. I would like to know and be shown what they were talking about with leaks, because they definitely, things are not fully lining up there. I'm not totally pressed about it. I'm not gonna make it some like big thing, but I just find that weird that they would say rack and pinion's leaking, rear main is leaking, which it is, and then my oil sending unit, whatever that is leaking, because it's definitely not. That's weird. So plan for right now, since I was planning on fixing my oil sending unit because I thought maybe it was my oil pressure sensor seemed to be tightened. That's not an issue. My rack and pinion, not an issue. The only thing that I have a problem with are those power steering lines, which are 2 copper washers I do not have. I will order OEM replacement ones because I think these are just some parts store ones that I used. I will get those replaced. I will figure out what I can do for my rear main. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and probably order a new seal and then replace it this upcoming weekend, because that needs to get done ASAP before it absolutely murders my clutch, which it already may have. It's driving a little bit weird, so that's not great. But again, that's not a right now thing. And yeah, as far as everything else goes, I just want the interior cleaned up and get it prepped for swapping out, because I am quite sick of dealing with this not so fitting interior. So as you saw in the last clip, these interior panels are really crusty, really gross, dusty, not as bad as like the rest of the interiors, but we need to get these cleaned up. So I'll take you through my process of what I do. This is what I do every single time I go to rip out an interior and start fresh. So this is what my interior looks like now. I mean, I have like my old Airsoft camo pants, my multicam pants. That was from back in the BB Wars days. Dog leash here just because I haven't put it under the cover yet because we were using it the other day. And yeah, just some like random stuff, again, haven't taken out. And I mean, I do have a little bit of stuff here. This is about the worst you'll ever see my interiors. Mats are kind of an exception just because they get really, really dirty around this time since it is winter. But I mean, as far as this goes, like I normally don't want to get that bad. And then whatever this is spilled, I just also have been working on the car, so I haven't had time to maintain my interior, but driver's side is much cleaner. My thought is no one will ever complain about a clean interior. People will complain about dirty interior. It's better to have clean interior, make your car look nice, than it is to live in, filth. So with that being said, these door panels door panel really, really needs a good cleaning. This guy here, which is the panel that goes right behind the door, just like that. That really needs cleaned. I'm gonna clean both sides. I don't know if you know this, but back of your door panels and like interior panels in general can get very, very dusty, very dirty. You can get some random garbage behind there. It's better to clean it, have it clean, everything top to bottom just perfect, than it is to just let it go. And if you have it out, might as well clean it. So that being said, let's get started. I'm just gonna time lapse this just because it's gonna be a little bit of a process. And then I need to try and fix my pressure washer today if I can, because I got some cushions to wash. So there you have it. That's just like the first part of my process. Also, this is not purple power. This is not purple power. This is simple green. I just reused this bottle because I don't use purple power. It was a nice bottle, and yeah, I use simple green a lot. So I haven't touched really any of the fabric here yet, and there's a reason for that. But all of like the normal plastic here, this thing is a little bit more beat up than I thought it was. But that's okay, because what I'm about to do is I'm about to tear this door panel completely apart, mainly so I can get inside this pocket here. And then I can kind of clean this guy up as much as I can. But like you can see how much better this thing looks just with that. I mean, that was a total of, from the time I started the recording to the end of it was 5 minutes. So I mean, that's not bad at all. And I mean, this stuff is very, very smooth to the touch now. Like it feels like almost like velvety because it's just such a soft plastic when it's all cleaned up and everything's all nice. I use, for the actual cleaning stuff, I use this stuff here. It is Chemical Guys No Nonsense Invisible Super Cleaner. Has no scent, but it eliminates any like gross smells or like gross stuff accumulated on your interior bits there. The bottle did break. I dropped it and it broke off the top, but it still works. And then I use this brush. It's literally just from Advance. It's like $7. You can use anything else like it, but I like it because these bristles are pretty stout. Do not use this on suede. It will destroy it. But this, for like doing stuff like this, it will get all into these little lines here for like the, like the mock pleather on the plastic, and it cleans all of that out. Like this feels 100% different from what it used to. And you can actually use this for like getting these kind of stains out too. Again, I'm just going to do this a little bit more in depth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this door panel over, and we're going to take off all the hardware on the back here, and this thing is going to be down to just the bare panel. Alright, so check this out. This is after like 2 minutes of scrubbing on here. You scrub at it with this brush, that Chemical Guys Invisible Super Cleaner. Scrub at it for just a couple minutes, and this is like super smooth. And then this is what it started out as, just like this upper trim piece. Obviously this one's a little bit more dusty. This is flat surface versus this one where it's pretty, not flat, horizontal, kind of like a wall, because it is basically just a back wall for the cab, but it's a big difference. It's really nice doing this kind of thing. I will show how the door panel came out in just a little bit, but I want to wait just so that way I can finish up this part, well, these parts, all of that minus the seatbelts, because I have to do a different process for that. And then try and figure out what to do with these. Because actually, I'll show you this. This guy's not too bad, but this, I don't know if it doesn't show as brown on camera as it really is, but it's pretty brown, and that's like the original color. So if you look at those two, that we need to get from that to that. And what's crazy is the backside of this is that color. So it's only just on here, because I think whoever had this just always had the seats flipped down for dogs, and yeah, it got pretty nasty pretty fast, but I got a couple ideas. All right, I think it's about time to call it a day. I've gotten quite a bit cleaned up, not everything, but the process takes a little bit of time. Not enough to not do it, but it does take a little bit of time. So here's all of these parts. They all look amazing. A little bit of scuffing on that one big one. I may try and get a different one, we'll see. I might actually try and reach out to the guy that bought my interior when I sold this setup before. He might still have it, because he said he wasn't gonna use part of it, so maybe. But check out this door panel. I am really happy with how this came out, because even if I have to replace like one part of it or two parts of it, it's still pretty good, mainly on two very important parts. First of all of these look amazing. This door panel looks almost brand new. I mean, I have a little bit of staining here you can't really see on camera. Well, I guess you kind of can. It's like right here. You can kind of see that. I'll get that out later. Even then, if it stays, not a big thing. But like all of this, like you can't even tell this looked as gross as it did, because this color matched this, which is insane. This piece is on here very, very firm now. I pulled out all the staples, rebent all the tabs minus the one back here that's broken, stapled them all back down, and it does not move. I've never had one that solid. So that's good. I accidentally broke the back clip on this, so that a little floppy, that's all right. I'll just get a new one of these. I also bent the clip up there somehow, trying to take it off and realign it, and so I'll fix that later, as in buy a new one. These pieces I still haven't done. I have to figure out something else for those. This does have a little bit of boot scuffing on it. I might try and replace this piece, because this piece is a separate panel that you can replace, so I might try that. If not, I'm not that pressed about it. I'm overall just happy how it came out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there. Grandma's missing. Probably out with her sister doing who knows what, probably bringing back another dog. Tomorrow, I'm going back to Pull and Pay. We are gonna get a headliner, if I can, and maybe one or two other things, just because I want to try and get this thing as close as I can to being ready to go without spending a ton of money. I don't want to like rush all the parts, but I don't want to sandbag it to the point where like I should have got it when I had the opportunity. So I am going to go ahead and do that. Also, what should I do with the dash? So the dash is kind of like a grayish color right now. This is like a grayish blue, as you have seen in like all the clips now. I'm debating on if I should go ahead and convert the dash back to the gray blue so everything matches, minus the steering wheel because I'm not going back to that, or should I just leave the dash and like the little trim pieces underneath it as is, along with the center console, because that's not changing either. And then like door panels back is all blue-gray, and A-pillars. Let me know what you think, because I'm undecided. There's like certain parts of the newer interior that's good that you want to keep, like the center console with the nice cup holders. There's certain things that aren't, that you want to get rid of, like the quarters that just don't hold on. So yeah, let me know what you think. I might swap out the dash, I might not. I'm gonna leave it up to the comments. Let me know. But I'm gonna drop this here and then I'm gonna pick it back up tomorrow. Back at it again, new part of the week. Washing all of the parts of the pressure washer. I'm hoping it's gonna work, but I'm not really sure. So we're gonna give her a try. I have all the parts over here, all sprayed a simple green. Got the nozzle in here. And then I have the pressure washer running outside. You should probably hear it here because this mic is super sensitive. So anyway, I'm gonna set it up on the tripod and yeah, wash these parts off. Can't say I'm super excited about how a lot of this stuff came out. Surprisingly, the best turnout, I guess, was the cushions and the backrest. Pretty much there's like no staining on there, at least from what I can see right now, and just pressure washing them with the simple green on there, it cleared everything off, so that's pretty cool. A lot of the plastics definitely going to need some attention from like my normal brushing. I'd say the biggest bummer of the day is my dash is definitely not in as good a condition as I thought it was previously. Looking at it, there's a lot of marks, paint, tape, adhesive, and some other random garbage on there, so that's a later problem. Right now I'm gonna plan on going to Pull and Pay again tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get just a couple more little things. It's gonna sound weird, but I might get the roof off the truck I'm looking at because it has a factory sunroof, and my truck has a little bit of rust on the front from an aftermarket sunroof that someone put on. And yeah, kind of thinking about chopping the top of the truck off and putting on this new one, maybe. So I'll update on that tomorrow. As far as plans go for the weekend, since it is now Friday, we're going to be tackling my rear main seal because it's leaking pretty bad, as I mentioned earlier in the video. That'll be a separate video, but that is the big plan for probably tomorrow or Sunday, possibly both. I think I can get it done in a day. It's just a matter of if I'm going to end up needing a clutch or not, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to cut the video here.